You know what? I used to kind of hang around on the fence and try to stay safe regarding certain topics that I would bring up on any of my platforms. But the Lord really had been dealing with my heart, and He gave me and dropped in my spirit the story of Esther. So if you are struggling to open your mouth when the Lord is pressing something upon you to say, I want you to listen to this and go and read it, review it, study it for yourself, okay? So I found it really interesting that Esther, at this point in the story, is asking or is sending a messenger to ask her cousin Mordecai, why are you weeping? Why are you mourning? What is all of this about? And he explains everything to her, and he's telling her, our people, which are the Jews, are about to get wiped out. So if you don't do something about it, I need you to go to the king on our behalf and speak up. Esther's first response was, and I quote, she said, all the king's officials and even the people in the provinces know that anyone who appears before the king in his inner court without being invited is doomed to die unless the king holds out his gold scepter. And the king has not called me to come to him for 30 days. Okay. So then Mordecai responds to Esther's. See, this is her way of trying to wiggle on up out that thing, okay? So she really doesn't want to get involved. She doesn't want to offend anybody. She don't want to get messy. She don't want to get her hands dirty, right? She sounds really prim and proper, very demure, okay? Mordecai responds with this. He said, don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace, you will escape when all other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this? Let's break that down. So, if God is placing something in you to address, whether it be with the world, with a family member, a friend, or whatever, if He's placing certain convictions on your heart, it's best to obey Him and say what He wants you to say, because if you don't do it, somebody else will, but you will still reap the consequences of being disobedient to Him. We're in a time right now where people need to speak up. I made a Facebook post recently about how Esther's need to arise. Deborah's need to arise. Deborah wasn't playing around. She was a judge. She was out here leading battle, in the book of Judges. Okay, so y'all can go read about her too. But the Lord was placing in my spirit, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you need to say what I tell you to say, address what I want you to say. And I can speak on this because personally I've experienced it. No, it's not fun to ruffle people's feathers, but this is where I stand. I honor the Lord Jesus Christ above anybody. God told me earlier this year that He was going to deal with a lot of idols, not just in my life, but in everybody's life. And I have seen that over and over. It's playing out. It's played out the whole year. And now I understand why He wanted us to deal with our idols, because they make you deaf, dumb, and blind according to His word.